At the same time the dinosaurs walked the Earth, most of the central United States was a shallow seabed with volcanic activity in the Pacific Rim. The emissions from these volcanoes were being mixed with the ancient seawater and deposited in the seabed sediment. This volcanic ash combined with the seawater for thousands of years of obliteration and alteration under drastic conditions, developed a chemical reaction in the sediment, and produced a mineral that geologists called smectite, most common being montmorillonite, or what today is called expansive clay soils. Stretching from Texas to Montana, these expansive clay soil zones are responsible for more damage to residential, commercial buildings, municipality projects, airport runways, and state and federal roadways. This structural damage exceeds the damage cost created by earthquakes and hurricanes. Unfortunately for the West and East Coast, there is little that man can do to protect their structures from Mother Nature. However, here in the central United States, we can protect our investments from the harmful effects of expansive clay by injecting the soil with the proven chemical EcSS 3000. ESSL was honored to have our product EcSS 3000 as the only clay soil stabilization product to be published in the American Society of Civil Engineers publication. EcSS 3000 is the only proven premier product published that provides the necessary irreversible long-term protection for our clients' structures from the damage clay soil produces. With this proven technology, EcSS 3000 is the best investment to end continual repairs on residential or commercial structures that suffer damage because of expansive clay soil. We are very proud to say we have had no structural failures in all the years we have been injecting EcSS 3000. Illustrated here is a typical wood frame structure with the outside cladding removed. This could also be a commercial building with concrete block walls or even a steel frame structure such as a high-rise. We will remove all the walls except one for easier viewing. Regardless of the material, they have two things in common. The framework sits on a foundation, and the foundation sets in soil. We're all too familiar with the sticking doors, uneven floors, broken tile, windows that will not open, cracks in concrete floors, cracked sheetrock walls and ceilings, and cracked mortar or broken brick and broken stone cladding. As moisture is introduced to the clay soil under the foundation and floor slab, the active clay soil begins to swell and heave parts of the foundation and our floor slab upward while taking portions of the wall frame with it. We have exaggerated the movement to illustrate the effect on the dwelling wall frame structure. This is the mechanics of swell and how the traditional door stick occurs that is so common in active clay zones. It also affects the joints of the wall, the ceiling joist, and even the roof trusses. As you can well imagine, the sheetrock or outside cladding, being a rigid substrate, will crack and break at these stress points. EcSS 3000 chemical stabilizer is used by ESSL to stabilize expansive soils beneath new and existing building and pavement locations. We have explained the origins of active clay soil and the mechanics of swell on foundations and structures. Now, let's see how ESSL applies EcSS 3000 to these problem soils. EcSS 3000 is an ion exchange solution that is precisely blended with water, and using exclusive high-pressure pump rigs, it is injected 7 to 15 feet into the ground under pressure through injection rods on specially designed ESSL tracked vehicles at 3-foot intervals, which are staggered and overlaid in multiple passes until total treatment is achieved. In roadway and subgrade applications, it can be mixed into the soil using water tank trucks and compacted with conventional road working equipment to achieve the perfect ratio of EcSS 3000 in the active clay soil. There is an added immediate benefit for projects where it is mixed into the soils, with the soil then being compacted in thin lifts. Not only a soil that is less susceptible to shrinking and swelling, but also a denser soil with increased strength. When you have commercial structures or residential housing on concrete pads at a place where heavy tracked equipment cannot be utilized, ESSL will use hand injection techniques and portable high-pressure pump equipment. Access to the active clay soil is achieved through a typical 3/4 inch bore, spaced at 3-foot intervals, followed by the hand injection wand and the required EcSS 3000 solution at the required depths, and then filling the borehole flush with no shrink grout. The diluted chemical is non-hazardous, environmentally friendly, and will not harm expensive landscaping investments. The EcSS 3000 solution has reduced the amount of absorbed water attached to the clay particles so that the shrink swell potential of the soil is significantly reduced and the soil strength is increased after treatment. ESSL has treated approximately 250 million square feet of new and existing building pads, parking lots, swimming pools, sidewalks, sports running tracks and fields, Texas Department of Transportation roadways, and airport roadways and taxiways. In addition, hundreds of miles of county and federal U.S. Forest Service roadway subgrades have been surfacely treated with EcSS 3000 for both new roadway as well as roadway rehabilitation projects. In this segment, we will explain why clay soil is so destructive and how EcSS 3000 can cure the problem. In the following graphics and animations, we will illustrate the two principles of expansive clay soil. In the molecular level, water is introduced into the clay soil by two means. One is by mankind through irrigation and leaking pipes, and the other occurs through nature in the form of precipitation. Once significant moisture is obtained, the first swell mechanism begins. Clay particles have a net negative surface charge. Because of this negative surface charge, the clay attempts to balance the negative charge by attracting nearby positively charged ions found in water. This is why clay absorbs water, resulting in swelling of the clay and a reduction in strength and increase in compressibility. After the EcSS 3000 treatment, the number of negative charges is reduced. By reducing the attraction of water, we have reduced the clay's ability to swell, all due to fewer negative charges. This illustration explains the second swell mechanism. As we zoom into the clay particle, this illustrates one of the thousands of crystalline lattices that make up the internal structure of clay particles. Mineral sheets form a crystalline lattice structure. As water becomes available, swelling occurs. The water is attracted by the negative charges. It pushes the mineral sheets apart. Here is the internal structure of clay particles after the EcSS 3000 treatment. The silica sheets have disintegrated and are no longer connected to the alumina sheets. The internal structure, no longer a crystalline lattice with a high swell potential. By changing the internal structure, the swell potential is reduced or eliminated. As the first graphics illustrated, the clay particles are negatively charged. Because of this, adjacent clay particles can come only so close to each other due to the fact that particles with like charges repel each other. After the EcSS 3000 treatment, which reduces the negative charge of the clay particles and, therefore, reduces the repulsive forces between clay particles and causes the particles to agglomerate or come closer together, the end result is a denser and stronger soil since the clay particles can physically come closer together. EcSS 3000 research at Texas A&M and Penn State University have been ongoing since mid-1998. The research was contracted to confirm the treatment mechanism and complement the extensive project data that has shown long-term reduction in the shrink-swell characteristics of expansive clays. All research to date has confirmed that the structure change in overall reduction in the negative surface charge does indeed occur within days of treating with EcSS 3000. It has also confirmed that these changes are still evident years after treatment in the field. From Penn State University, in his own words, this is Dr. R.I. Malik.
The principal cause of swelling in soils is the negative charge generated by the presence of aluminum atoms in the silicate sheets. This structure is the result of thousands of years of obliterations and alterations of the earth minerals under drastic conditions. Therefore, If the aluminum atoms do not exist in the silicate layer, the negative charge will be reduced and the soil stabilized. And that's exactly what the EcSS 3000 soil stabilizer is doing. It's basically designed to attack the aluminum atoms and leach them out, thus reducing the negative charge and stabilizing the soil. This process is irreversible, as introducing the aluminum atoms back requires exposure of the soil to the lengthy alteration process under drastic conditions of temperature and pressure that are not found in the naturally exposed soil.
If you are concerned about expansive soils, contact ESSL, your soil stabilization specialist. ECSS 3000 chemical injection irreversibly changes the structure of clay soil and is a proven method of expansive clay stabilization. Call today to see how ESSL can help you protect your property and save you money from costly structural repairs.